Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Imitating Reality, where we take a CET project and, with the help of TwinMotion, breathe some photorealistic life into it. In this episode, we're going to talk about object manipulation. We will cover some of the basic tools for moving and scaling objects, and then we will manipulate and replace a couple items that we imported. So let's get to it. Most of the functions are super easy and intuitive within TwinMotion. In the middle of your screen is the manipulation toolbar. I'm going to start with one of the primitive objects in our library to demonstrate how these tools work. The first tool is Move. It is all about where your cursor is. So if I click on the yellow access point, I can move the object wherever I move my cursor. If I want to move in a more of an ortho or straight movement, hover over and click and drag the color axis line you want your item to move, like this. For a little more accuracy, you can type the amount of movement you want. While hovering over the line, type the number of how far you want your item to move forward. I'm going to type 3, which is equal to 3 meters. If you want to change these units, you can by going under your Edit menu and adjusting your preferences under the unit system. If you type a negative amount, it'll move backwards from your starting point. Next to the Move button is Rotate. Just like Move, it works in a similar fashion. By hovering over the X and Y axis arms, you can rotate your object in various directions. You can also type the rotation degrees here as well. Moving on to the third manipulation tool, Scale. We can change the size of any selected object. Like Move, hovering your cursor over the yellow node in the center, clicking and dragging will scale the entire object, or you can stretch it in the X, Y, or Z direction. Now that we understand the basics, let's move on to our project. I'm going to start with this light fixture. I want it to be a bit bigger. So first I'm going to select the object, and you'll notice our object in the object tree on the right-hand side. Once selected, I'm going to make sure the scale button is chosen. Then I'm going to grab the center yellow node and click and drag to scale up the size. Now we can move it back into place. Unlike CET, moving objects in TwinMotion is more of a free-for-all and less accurate than using the positioner tool. It's more about moving an item until it looks and feels right. This might take some practice as you move objects within your 3D environment, but I'm pretty sure you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. While we're here, I'm also just going to add a material to this lamp as well. I really like this hammered copper, so I'm going to drag it onto my item, adjust the scale, and let's adjust the color too. Okay, moving on to another item. I'm not in love with this rug, so I'm going to replace it with one of the stock carpets from TwinMotion. First, delete the item you don't want. Then I'm going to search for carpet in my library on the left. My search resulted in a fair amount of options. Let's use this one. Grab the item and drag it into your space. I'm going to attempt to place it centered underneath my table. Then I'm going to select Scale. And you could grab the yellow node to scale it evenly, or just stretch the X and Y axis to get it to the size that you want. In TwinMotion, it's all about eyeballing items, moving them around, scaling them, just to where it feels right and natural. You can also adjust the color a little bit. If you have your own pattern, you can apply that as well. I went to a manufacturer's rug website and downloaded a JPEG of the pattern I wanted to apply. Using the eyedropper, grab the pattern that's already applied to the rug in your drawing. Then select More. This is where we're going to load the JPEG that we downloaded. Locate your image, select Open, and just as easy as that, you have your own custom rug. If you need, you can also adjust the scale. I caution you on this as patterns with repeats might not look quite right scaled down, especially on a round object. But this same method can be used for COMs or COLs on any object. Well, there you have it. We've successfully manipulated some objects. On the next episode, we'll be covering my favorite topic, lighting. Until then, thanks for watching, and as always, have fun creating.